just when I thought everything was going so well. Here is the manhole. There is a branch off to the right there. Plan is to dig down into the turf all the way along here and then enter the outbuilding at this point here and then tee off over to the corner. I'm just going to put a tent peg in because we've got the other inlet here to this manhole. It comes out here. We've got a string which comes from the pipe. I'm just going to loosely put it over here and then we can work out our angles of the pipe work. So I've decided to make it a little bit more accurate with where the soil pipes are going. I've drilled a hole, put a raw plug fixing in here, and that's exactly where I want the soil pipe to come out of the ground. So here we've got our inspection chamber, and we're going from this branch here up to this peg, and there's the line that runs all the way along into the outbuilding. So now we just need to work out how to get from the hole over here to the manhole without creating too many tight bends. A couple of things obviously to be aware of when doing soil pipes. I'm definitely not a plumber, but I've learned a few things over the years, and two main things that stick out for me when considering where pipes are going. One, that it's roddable, so you want to avoid sharp bends. You need to be able to rod it, which means that the bends can't be too tight. And the second thing is fall and having the correct fall on your soil pipe, but it's too soon to talk about that, so we'll do that in a different video. I'm now marking out in the outbuilding exactly where the pipes are going to go. So what we've got here is, as I mentioned earlier on, we've got the screw in the ground just there. So that's exactly where the soil pipe's going to go up. Then we've got the string line, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. We've got the string lines in place. We know that where the pipes are going to go underground. I've just cut myself a bit of an offcut, 9 inches, so that allows for the 4-inch pipe plus a little bit of wiggle room each side for the pea gravel to actually bed it in. I've marked on there a little blue mark which marks the centre, and all I'm going to do is every couple of meters I'm just going to mark each side of the trench with a pen. What I can then do is grab a straight edge and then simply line up the marks you've made. I'm going to spray that all the way down, and then I've got the outline for the trench that I'm going to cut into the concrete slab. Second full day on the barn conversion, and I've been out basically picking up lots of tools and a few materials, which as anyone who's ever done a job like this knows, you spend as much time doing that as you do doing the work itself, it seems. A few things have changed. We have got a plan for the plumbing. So this is our main soil pipe ends. That's where the toilet's going to go. And then over here, that's where the kitchenette's going to go. And then we've got a couple of bends here, and I've changed this bend ever so slightly just to make it a bit more central where the work surface is going to be. A couple of bends, as I say, and then we've got the end bit, and I haven't obviously attached it just yet, but it's going to go out there to the drain. I'm going to start cutting the channels in the ground to install the soil pipes. So I've marked them all out with this red spray paint. Now it's just a case of running the grinder down the lines I created, chipping it all out, digging down, and then I can lay my pipes in there. It's about to get really quite dusty. I've just finished cutting into the concrete to sit the soil pipes in. It's quite a lengthy process and extremely dusty. The dust has only just settled and there's a thin film everywhere. The one thing I did learn, sort of the hard way, was that I lay down the pipes once I'd made the cuts. So then I could see exactly where the pipes were going and that I wasn't, on the wrong line or I hadn't cut in the wrong place. And what I realised was that at this junction just below here, we're going to see in a second, it was too tight a turn. So I then had to make another couple of cuts just to ensure that the pipe was definitely going to go in with plenty of room either side of the pipe for some pebbles to ensure it's bedded in nicely underground. There's the line either side that I've cut in to the concrete. Obviously going to extend this one out into the, so it's sort of behind the kitchenette cabinets. And then this is the junction that I mentioned. So that was the original cut, but obviously it wasn't enough, so I had to cut into this corner as well, and then make another cut just going out there, so there's plenty of wiggle room once the pipe goes out of the building down to the manhole. Now that I've got the lines cut, and then breaking the concrete just with a hammer bit on my hammer drill seems to be doing the trick. I have not discovered a damp-proof membrane, which I'm quite relieved that there isn't. So I've just been digging down in the trench using the mattock and my little mini shovel, basically my favourite tool ever, and hit a bit of a snag, which I was sort of anticipating. Quite a lot of water underneath the slab itself. Just make that out. Don't really know if that changes anything, but we'll see. We'll report back and we'll go from there. So some pretty big news. Unfortunately, I've been digging the holes for the soil pipe, and as I pointed out in the previous video, there's been some water build up. So there's water in the bottom of this trench that overnight is actually filled up, and the water levels got higher. So I've passed this information on to building control experts, and they've said basically I've got to take up this whole slab, which isn't ideal, but part of me was expecting it to happen. Obviously, there isn't a membrane underneath this slab, which I thought I'd get away with by doing a little bit of tanking on the top and obviously a membrane above it underneath the insulation layer, but this is not good news at all. I've decided to really play it safe by just removing the whole slab, so there's going to be massive implications for the build. Firstly, it's going to cost more, so I'm going to have to rip all this out and then replace it with a whole new slab, and there's the associated cost with that. Secondly, is going to be the time. So it's going to take me a long time to break all this up. I'm going to go down, hire a breaker, break the slab apart, then I'm going to have to take all of the slab out and then dig down about 250 millimeters in order for me to then put a layer of hardcore MOT, and then going to put a blinding layer of sand, so a thin layer of fine sand to stop the membrane from puncturing. So the membrane goes on top of that, and then on top of that, then I'm going to have the concrete. I'm probably going to go for about 150 mils of concrete just to be absolutely sure. I'm undecided as to whether I'm going to get that ready mix, so a truck turns up outside, or whether or not I'm going to mix it myself. I'm just going to see how long it takes for me to dig out, to compact it all down, get the hardcore down, and then make a decision on whether or not I do the concrete myself or whether I get someone to pre-mix it. We'll keep you updated. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified when the next video goes live. Thanks for watching.